It's Anya here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks Crochet. And today we are making storage baskets. Now, I am rearranging my Billy bookcases, and I need new storage baskets to, for example, put my pegs in. I had been looking online to buy some, but to be honest, why buy some if we can make our own? In the past we have made a bag with leftover yarns that we held together. This made a really lovely sturdy fabric. So I thought, why not try and make a different shape? So we've made a square basket, and this time we are making a rectangular basket. And I have to say, I am so happy I came up with this idea, because it's going to fill the shelves in my Billy bookcases with such lovely colourful baskets. I will be able to remember what's in them depending on the colour, of course, that I have made them in. Or you can make them all the same colour. But I'm going to go for crazy colours and just putting colours together from leftover yarns that I have, and just making sure that I am going to be using some of the yarns that have been sitting on my shelf for a long time and that are not going to get used. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to use up some of those yarns and to make a really useful object. Will you join me in making some? So for this project I have made a huge cake. Can you see how big it is? It's much bigger than the normal cakes. I just kept on winding. This yarn, I'm loving the colour. So this is a combination of pistachio, khaki, green gauge, mistletoe and lime. And yeah, I mean, just loving the colour. So this time as well I will be using my 5mm hook with my 5 DK strands. We are making a rectangular basket, and the base we are going to make by making rows of single crochets. So let's get started on the base for our rectangular basket. This time we are going to make the base in rows. So start with making your slip knot, insert your hook, and of course I am going to say strand, but you always are going to have to consider this as the 5 strands together as making one strand. And I'm going to chain 26. Now I want this basket to be the width of my depth of my Billy, so that it fits in perfectly. And I've worked out that if I chain 26 then put the single crochets on, it is exactly the depth of my Billy bookcase with my doors that I have, where I used to keep my yarn in, but I'm going to keep all kinds of other things in it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will see you when I have 26. 8, 9, 10, 24, 25 and 26. So this is 26. Now if we look at how long this is, that's just about 21 centimeters. Now we are going to do a chain 1. That's our turning chain. Then into the 26th chain, and it's okay if you just pick up the top loop here. You're going to get started with placing your single crochets. So 1 single crochet in each chain along your starting chain. So that means you're doing 26 single crochets. So here we go. This is the last one in the row, and now when we measure this we will see that we are at just about 24 centimeters, and that's perfect. Okay, so this is my first row done. Now we're going to chain 1, turn, and we're going to place a single crochet in each stitch along. And the reason why we are doing single crochets with 5 strands and a 5 hook, which really is too small for the amount of strands, is because we want to create a nice thick fabric, and you will notice the more you do, the sturdier it will feel. So you want a really lovely thick sturdy fabric for the base of your basket. So let me continue and I will show you. I am loving the colour though. Oh my goodness. Make sure you don't lose any strands, and make sure, see, look, I lost that one there, and make sure also that you don't lose any of your stitches. So if you need to, use a stitch marker so that you know that this stitch here, where the V lies sort of towards the front, away from you, that is your last stitch, and that you keep on doing 26 stitches in your row. So I will see you when your work has the width of the basket that you desire. So this is my base. I have decided that this is the size of my basket, and I have measured it. It is 24 centimeters wide, or 9.5 inches, and the width is 16.5 or 6.5 inches. So now I'm going to start working on my sides, and at the moment there is no front or back, but you want to make sure that you're working on the outside of your basket, so that actually the front of the single crochet is facing on the outside. So let's get started with doing 1 chain. Now you're going to move your base in such a way that you find it easy to work. There we go. And here I am going to do a single crochet along the side, and you're going to have to find locations to place your single crochets. So don't just pick up 1 strand or even 2 strands. Go around the body of the stitch and make a single crochet. Now you might need to make this a little bit bigger than you usually make it, and you have to make sure you can stand up the single crochet. So it's going to be facing in the direction that of course your side is going to be. Okay, so don't make the single crochet too tight, or at least in this round, because you just need to manipulate it so it does what you need it to do for the rest of the rounds, and of course for your sides. So pull them a little bit higher, work around the whole of that stitch there. Once again, here on this side there are no V's for you to pick up. You're going to go around the body of the stitches or into here, but make sure you space out your single crochets evenly, not too far apart but not too close together either. Okay, if you're going to place them too close together, you will get a wavy side. If you place them too far apart, you will bring the side in. So it is a balancing act here, but yeah, you can do it, I'm sure. Just take your time making these stitches, and then the rest will follow easier. So as you can see, I am manipulating them, making sure that they're standing up, that they are going in the direction that I want them to go. And look at that, you can already see that I have an edge there. So I'm going to keep on going until I reach the corner. Is that too far apart here maybe? It's okay. And then in the corner here, I'm going to place 1 stitch, there we go, this is the one for that direction, and then we are going to have to turn. So it's not so much the fact that I'm going to turn here. You don't want to make a corner kind of thing, because your corner is going in the different direction now. So I am not going to put another stitch in here. I am going to go to this stitch here. So this one is that first chain that you did. Go in it once, but then move over to the other side. Now, before I actually do my stitch, here is, of course, let me put that there. Here is, of course, our ends. So in order for us not to have to sew them in, I'm going to lay them along my side here. I'm going to pick up my yarn, go into this first stitch there, place the ends alongside it as well, and I'm going to do a single crochet. Now, it might not look much at the moment, but just, where is that second stitch here? Make sure you find the second stitch, do the same thing, laying across your ends. Same here as well. So these are the leftover strands of the starting chain that you have to pick up. Make sure, let me show you, that you don't go into the same stitch. Okay, make sure you now go into this one here. And again, go as deep as you think you need to go to make sure you pick up all those strands, and each time advance to the next stitch. There we go. So now here you're just going to have to do a little bit of manipulating, persuading it to do what you want it to do. And this is sticking out a little bit, but hang on, let me put that there. If you pull this, you'll be able to just, yeah, there we go, voila. And so this is how we are going to continue all the way around, and I will meet you here. So there we go. I've just done my last stitch here. Now here is the last stitch, but that stitch has that chain coming out. And I am going to make this chain count as a single crochet. So we're going to go and go under the V there. Voila. And we do our slip stitch to close the round. So we will have our seam, so to speak, on the corner, so hopefully it won't stand out too much. And I have also made sure that I have the same amount of stitches on this side as on this side, and on this longer side as on this longer side. So I have 24 stitches on the long side, 18 on the short sides. So now we're going to keep on doing rounds of single crochets, and all we will be doing is placing one single crochet on top of the other, and we will be starting with a chain one, placing the first one straight away. There we go. And we will be finishing in the same way as we finished this round here. So now you need to keep on doing rounds. There we go. And yes, so what I have been doing is making sure that the basket is shaped the way I want it to, and I just keep on putting my sides up, and the more rounds you do, the less you will have to do it, and it will be the shape that you want it to become. I did 15 rounds, making my basket about 13 centimeters tall, and then I ran out of yarn, and this was exactly the height that I wanted to make it, so all was fine. Skipping the chain, going under the next V to make a slip stitch. Then you pull out your yarn, and I'm going to make a nice end by putting my hook through the next V, taking all the yarn through there, and then coming back into the stitch where the yarn is coming out of, putting my hook into there, and bringing the yarn back through the fabric like this, and then this way your ends will now be on the inside of your basket. And let me show you how to sew them in, because I always say just sew them in, but I do realize some people are just not aware of how to do that. So we have got 5 strands, and the best thing to do is to separate them out and to use a needle, sharp one, for each strand. So I am not going to take the strands together, it's far too thick to go through my eye of my needle. So one by one I am going to sew in the ends, and I'm going to just go into all kinds of directions. So do this for as long as you want. You could do it for as long as these strands are. I'm not going to do that because my patience is too short for that. But yes, I'm doing a little bit of a sewing, then a loop the loop, just doing a little bit, going back and then going through into the stitches here, never going through the fabric, but just going into the middle of the fabric. And then of course when you have sewn in far enough, you just cut off the yarn and then you do the next lot. And I go in a different direction here, just making sure that I'm doing the exact same thing. And I do about 3 times. I go in with my needle, and I think that's far enough. And then it is time to reshape your basket, and then it is finished. And now we can have all the fun of filling it with whatever we wanted to use this for, and of course placing it in the location that we made it for. Now I do hope that you like this project. Once again, we are using leftover yarns, we are holding the strands together, and we are making a useful object. I wanted some storage baskets. I had been looking online, but why buy them if you have all that yarn and we can make them? So I am really happy I came up with this idea. I will be making more. So I'm not finished making baskets. I will be making more to fill up the shelf in my bookcase. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment down below what you think of these baskets, like the video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!